Well, I want to talk about silver again, but I want to give you something else because I think people got that are into physical silver. They're too concentrated in one area, and I'm not just talking about metals. There's something else I did. I did show it on other videos if you look around, but diesel fuel, physical silver, physical fuel. And diesel fuel is about the only thing you can actually really safely store. That's very useful in a lot of applications. Also store physical kerosene. So when you're stacking, you got to stack different things. Fuel is actually going to be a really, really important thing and highly, highly tradable. Probably more so than silver. Because, you can see, if there's a real emergency, look even like what happened in Sandy Hook. Hey, I bet you can trade fuel for big bucks real fast versus silver coins. So, actually, what I did was I got a 500-gallon tank that has an electric pump in it. I painted up the whole tank with, rust-killing primer after I steam cleaned it. And then I painted it with a paint, like aluminized roofing paint, right? And there's 500 gallons in it, and it took me like 20, 30 gallons at a time, filled it up, and I put an additive in it that will keep it for years and years and years. Special additive. Actually, all you got to do is every couple of years you just add some more of this additive, and the diesel fuel will last indefinitely. Then another one to get. I'm going to recommend this. This is a silver update, but it's more like you got to be thinking more than just about silver. I'm going to talk a little bit about silver in a second, but another thing I did was I got an aluminum tank, and the best way to get that cheap is I got one that goes in a boat. It's a 60-gallon tank, and I made it an adapter for it, so you can fill it up and close it off, and it has like a T. You can turn the thing and it closes it off, and it has a cap on it, so you can close it up two different ways. That's 60 gallons, never rusts. It's all aluminum. That's another good thing. Fuel, actually, if you get really the shit hits the fan, whatever you want to call it, fuel is like, man, talk about, it's liquid. That's a real liquid acid, because everybody's going to need that stuff. Everybody. And you can get anything you want for it, man. I swear to God, fuel is going to be one thing that's going to be. The thing is, it's a problem to store. So, like with gasoline, it's pretty dangerous to store that stuff. You don't have too much of that. But diesel fuel, you're pretty cool with that if you got the right kind of container. And also, I got kerosene, but that's not as popular. I don't have as much of that. But that's another thing to stack. I stacked as much of that as I could, actually. So. I got 500 gallons plus. It's plenty, actually. And considering my generator, it seems to last, I don't know, it seems to last like hours and hours and hours, and it stays full. And it's a fairly good, I don't know why it gets that good a mileage on there, or hours per gallon. It never even used a gallon. I don't know, it seems like I got enough fuel with my generator, probably last at least a couple of years easy, if I run it maybe 6 hours a day. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's one thing to stack. Another thing to stack is 22 ammo, especially 22. Very cheap. You can get that stuff so damn cheap, especially the little mini mags, the hyper velocities. Those are actually powerful rounds, and they can be made real quiet too. So, very important things to have on hand besides silver. Now, regarding silver, I know it's on its way up again today. It's freaking metal. It's going to drive you crazy. Basically, it goes one way, it goes the other way. But I noticed in the Middle East, there's more. The problems in Egypt are not over with. And this is the whole wild card. They've been talking about it for they've been talking about it lots of years actually. But things are actually starting to come to a head. And I think when that thing's really, really erupt really bad in the Middle East and say oil goes flying through the roof, that's when you're going to see everything go flying up. Silver, gold because people are going to be scared about the political situation. I'm not saying if you have gold you're scared. I'm saying is that's really why people start buying it, and that's what caused the buying pressure to go up. Actually, right now, you're confident if you have gold because most people are scared of it. But they're going to be scared of other things, and they're going to run into gold when the tensions in the Middle East go way the hell up. It looks like it's playing out that way. I'm going to use my, actually when I use my double sense, it works a little bit better. You call the demons of the deep. They give you strength. They give you power. And, they enable me to work out for hours a day. I'll probably do like 5 hours of working out today because I got to make up for a couple from yesterday. So I'll add it on today. And I'll do it too, man. Just call the demons of the deep, and they give you plenty of strength, right? And I believe in Jesus too. Don't worry about that. I mean, depends on what kind of Christian you are. I mean, praise the Lord and pass the ammo. I'm all for that. I think it's in the gospel someplace. That makes sense. And I'll go along with that kind of stuff. And actually, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ad-lib on some things because people were like freaking out. Oh, we're going to go to war with Iran. And, Iran is screwed up. Well, they're about as screwed up as the Miami police, and they're even worse. And I'll give you an example. Because, people, this is really what's going to drive up your metals and oil. War with Iran. When that blows up, I don't know when. It's like, hurry up and blow up already. That's what I keep thinking. But Iran, I'll give you an example how screwed up they are. They had 50 people arrested by the regime, and I'm talking within the last week, because they're having like a water balloon fight. Hey, they had it on Facebook, gather here, we're going to have water pistols and balloons, and we're going to throw them at each other, we're going to have a lot of fun. They arrested 50 people, and they hauled them off. Hey, you can't have fun in Iran. I mean, you know what? I would hope if there's a bomb, I pray that if there's a bomb that hits Iran, I hope it doesn't even go anywhere near any like those 50 people that got arrested. I hope it hits the freaking arrestors. You know what I mean? The freaks on the regime. Because basically that's what you really want to do. You want to hit the people that are playing the games. And I know we got them here in the United States too. I'm all for them getting screwed up. And I'll give you an example how the United States too, they're freaking outlawing fun in some places. In Miami real recently, they had this bicycle event. This guy is selling ice cream from the back of the bicycle. These cops, they didn't like these bicyclists, no noise. They don't have, they don't make noise. There's nothing like, you're running around with no mufflers on or something. And they arrested this guy, even though he had permission to sell them ice cream, and the store owners, the place he was at, said he could use the parking lot. They arrested him because they don't like bicyclists. And they put him in jail for like a day and a half. This is bullshit, man. I'll tell you what. This is why this is even why in the United States, when the East started getting filled up, they all went west to get away from the bullshit. That's really what happened. That's probably why California is still, despite turning into California, is still pretty much better than the northeast coast. I will not say it's better than the southeast coast like Florida, but they're better than the northeast coast for the most part. I would definitely rather be in California than I would up in the northeast. They've got too many rules up there. And basically rules are to be broken. That's the way I look at it. But, if we go to war with Iran, that's what's going to drive up your metals. And that's why I'm saying you ought to stack fuel. I've already stacked fuel. I've already did that. Just like I don't feel like stacking too much more silver either. It's getting ridiculous. You get up to a certain point, you're cool. You don't have to like every single dime you have, you put into silver. I got stacks of food, for a long time. But you should need to stack other things too. But right now, silver is pretty low. But I don't look at it like, I stacked fuel. I stacked freeze-dried food for 30 years. And, the price went down. I'm freaking out. No, because I know that's for later, for a real emergency. But if you really want to think about it, in a time of real emergency, what you're probably going to get the most wampum paper for is fuel. Fuel. I mean, if you got, if you could fill up a 5-gallon can of diesel fuel during Sandy Hook, I bet you could probably get $80 for that, no problem. Easy. Easy. And you know what I mean? Whereas if you had, an ounce of silver, you'd rather have the 5 gallons of diesel fuel. So I'd recommend you might want to be stacking that stuff too. Because what I think's going to happen is when the deal blows up, it's like, they're all going to pretty much sort of kind of move together. Not exactly. But I mean, if oil goes up to $150 a barrel or $200 a barrel or something like that, silver ain't going to be at 18. It's going to be way over that 50 mark. Way the hell over it. Way the hell over it. So just beware. It's coming down, man. I'm not talking about financial things. I'm talking about survival things. And that's why you want the physical stuff. That's what you got it for. And, as far as like some of the stuff I see on the internet with YouTube, I don't know. I really don't like a lot of these silver channels anyway, to tell you the truth. And I don't know. I don't really think of silver as like the be-all, end-all of the freaking universe. I don't think of it that way. I think it's one part of many things you ought to be doing. So, that's how it is.